They found the prince where no prince should ever be found, in chains, buried beneath the old fortress, alive, not crowned, not remembered, hidden. For 20 years, the kingdom believed King Harald's firstborn son had died in winter. They mourned him. They buried his name. They built their peace on his grave. But graves are dangerous things, especially when the man inside them never died. Because kings can bury sons, but they cannot bury blood. And before this story ends, you'll see why an entire kingdom feared the son they buried alive, and why even his own father chose the throne over blood. If you love powerful Viking stories, Norse legends, and cinematic warrior sagas, subscribe now, because this ending changes everything. And when the secret beneath the throne was finally uncovered, the kingdom did not ask who he was. They asked something far worse. Why did the king fear his own son? King Harald had ruled Norvik for 3 decades. He was feared, respected, obeyed. A king who built peace through war, and loyalty through fear. But before the throne, before the victories, before the crown became his skin, there was a prophecy. On the night his first son was born, an old seer came to the great hall, blind, shaking, terrified. She looked at the newborn prince and whispered, "The firstborn will not inherit your kingdom. He will end it." Then she turned to Harald and said, "You will not lose your throne to enemies. You will lose it to your own blood." That night, the king did not sleep, and fear entered the palace like winter. At first, Harald tried to ignore it. Years passed. The boy grew. Prince Eirik, strong, quiet, watching. He had his mother's eyes, and his grandfather's silence. The people loved him. The warriors followed him. Even as a child, he carried something dangerous, the kind of loyalty kings cannot command. Harald saw it, and fear became belief. When Eirik turned 12, the king made his choice. The kingdom was told the prince had died of fever during the winter storms. The bells rang. The priests prayed. The people wept. But no grave was ever opened, because Eirik was not buried. He was hidden, taken beneath the old fortress, into the stone chambers below the throne. No sunlight, no name, no future, only chains, only silence, only the slow cruelty of being forgotten. The Queen Astrid begged Harald to stop. She knelt before him. She wept before him. She called him husband. He answered like a king. Better one son dies in darkness than an entire kingdom burns in daylight. And so she lived beside the man who buried their child alive. Years passed. The kingdom moved on. A second son was born. Prince Leif. Golden. Brilliant. Everything a court could love. And Harald made certain Leif would be the future. No one spoke Eirik's name again. Until the fortress bled. It began with a guard, then another. Men assigned to the lower chambers vanished. Some were found, most were not. And on the stone walls beneath the throne, someone had carved 3 words. I was here. Fear spread faster than truth. Whispers filled the halls. Ghost, curse, punishment from Odin. But Queen Astrid knew, because mothers recognized the shape of pain. She went alone beneath the fortress, torch in hand, heart breaking with every step. And there, in chains, in darkness, in the grave they built for him, stood her firstborn son, older now, harder, not broken. Prince Eirik looked at his mother, as if 20 years had been a single wound, and asked only one thing. Did you know? Silence. Because sometimes silence is the cruelest answer. Astrid wept. Because yes, she knew, not at first, but soon enough, and she had survived by doing what frightened kingdoms always do. Nothing. Eirik nodded, not angry. That was worse, because rage can be fought. Silence cannot. But what happened next changed the kingdom forever, and no one in that hall would leave unchanged. Above them, King Harald already knew. Because kings always know when the past begins walking toward them. He stood in the great hall as Eirik entered for the first time in 20 years. No chains now, no darkness, only truth. The nobles froze. The guards lowered their eyes. Prince Leif stood beside the throne and saw the brother he was taught was dead. Their eyes met, and in that single moment, both sons understood that one of them had been raised for a crown, and the other had been buried for it. Harald looked at Eirik, not with love, with recognition, like a man seeing prophecy return. The king spoke first. "You should have stayed forgotten." Eirik stepped forward. "No, you should have feared truth, more than prophecy." Even the fire seemed to listen. The hall held its breath. Harald rose. The kingdom needed peace. Eirik answered, "No, you needed control." Leif said nothing, because what can a son say when he realizes his life was built on his brother's grave? Queen Astrid stood between them, mother to both, forgiven by neither. And then Harald made his final mistake. He reached for power. He ordered the guards, "Take him." No one moved, because men obey crowns until they remember crowns are worn by men. Old Jarl Bjorn stepped forward, then another lord, then another, and like winter ice breaking, the kingdom chose, not the king. Truth. Watch closely here, because this is the moment the crown truly begins to die. Leif walked down from the throne, slowly, every step, the death of the boy he had been. He stood beside Eirik, not because blood forgives, but because blood remembers. Harald looked at his sons, and for the first time in many years, the king looked old, not powerful. Old. "You would destroy your own father?" Eirik answered quietly, "No, you did that yourself." Steel flashed, fast, clean, final, and when it ended, the hall was quiet. No cheers, no songs, only truth. King Harald lay beneath the throne. He loved more than his own blood. Queen Astrid wept softly. Leif stood beside Eirik, not forgiven, but not lost. Some wounds do not heal. They simply stop bleeding. Outside, snow fell softly over Norvik, as if the world itself wished to begin again. Leif looked at his brother. "What happens now?" Eirik looked toward the open doors, toward winter, toward tomorrow, and answered, "Now, we live with what he chose, far beyond the clouds." Odin smiled, because revenge is easy. Living after it, that is the hard part. And Eirik, the prince they buried, the son the king tried to erase, finally came home. The end. If you watched until the end, subscribe for more powerful Viking stories, Norse legends, and cinematic warrior sagas. And tell me in the comments, was King Harald protecting the kingdom, or just protecting his throne?